Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. The nose is gone, the throat is gone, but the news must carry on. The news must carry on. We have to, and we must deliver for you guys. There is so much happening. There is so much popping off. It's a must that we talk about it, and I genuinely want to know what you guys have to say about all sorts of news that's been popping on. And you know what? A little bit of a twist, a little bit of a husky voice, a little bit of a stuffy voice. It may make this whole news a little bit more spicy and a little bit more exciting. So look, let's get cracking into the program, ladies and gentlemen. Latest Chelsea news, Chelsea transfer news, whole heap of stuff that's happening. As you can see, a picture of Nkunku. Now you're probably wondering, Miz, where you got a picture of Nkunku there? What's going on with Nkunku? Tell me now. Well, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking: Chelsea have received interest and inquiries for Nkunku, but no plans to let him go this summer. Nkunku also wants to stay. So very, very interesting that there are clubs that are trying to reach out for Nkunku. I fully understand that he wants to stay at Chelsea Football Club. New manager, a particular manager that I feel could get a lot out of Nkunku. I think Nkunku will enjoy playing under Enzo Maresca more than what he probably enjoyed under Pochettino half the time. I mean, not even half the time, 3/4 of the time. No, in fact, even more. 85% of the time he was injured anyway. Few times I felt like, yeah, he probably just doesn't want to return back to the mess that we're in. But just quickly, I want to know, who are these particular people that these information's coming from? Philipp Heinz, who's that? TV reporter and moderator, Sky Sports News and Germany Sky Sports. I believe that's the other one, Sky Sports DE Deutsch, yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Deutschland. But yeah, look, Nkunku may not go this time around, but we do need to understand one thing. I don't think long term Nkunku is probably going to stick around at Chelsea Football Club for a few reasons. He's 26 already. This year he'll be 27. So upcoming season he's going to be 27. And I know he's got a long-term contract with us, but he's probably one of those players that as he's getting older and older, Chelsea will start thinking about getting rid of him and recouping some level of money from him whilst his market, whilst his value in the market still is quite reasonable. So look, we will get the best out of him hopefully this season under the new manager. As I said, the possession based football, the positional based football should suit someone like Nkunku. But watch this pace down the track. This is a particular player. I definitely do believe that within the next couple of seasons, probably going to leave Chelsea Football Club because Chelsea probably want to part ways. There's very few players that we have right now that I genuinely feel that they can stay at Chelsea for a very, very long time. I think the whole model that we have, our owners don't want a player to run down their contract. They want to make a decision by the time the contract, it's got a couple of years left, and they want to make a decision whether they want to keep him or they want to let him go. If you are going to end up being more than 30 years by the time there's a couple of years left, you're probably going to be parting ways with Chelsea Football Club. I get the feeling this new model that we have, we don't want to entertain above the age of 30. No, not a lot of the players. Maybe the odd one here and there will entertain who might become club legends down the track, but not all of them. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Tosin is a blue. This news dropped earlier today, and look, smart piece of business, honestly. And I know there's quite a lot of people that are excited about this, quite a lot of people that are a little bit calm about it, and then there's quite a lot of people that just has no feelings towards this particular defender. All I'm going to say is that I think he's a quality defender, but I'm going to stay calm. He could explode and become a monstrous defender for us. He's at a very good age for a defender, 26. I think from here you only become more mature. I think he's going to bring a sense of leadership. He's in that older side of things. A lot of people are questioning, what happened to the under 25 policy? With this, you have to understand, he was on a free. He was on a free, and this is why we got him. And he'll be another one where he's got a 4-year contract, mind you, not your regular 6-7 years, because that will take him beyond 30. 4-year contract. By the time 2 years lapses, I reckon when he's about 28, Chelsea will look to see how much his value is in the market. You have to think from a business standpoint. On a free, if we're able to flip him for down the track in a couple of years' time for 40, 45 million or 50 million, if he really bangs, that's pure profit for Chelsea Football Club. So this is how Chelsea operates right now. But look, big up to Tosin. Hopefully he does well. I don't necessarily think he'll come in and just become a starter. I do believe if Wesley Fofana is fully fit, it'll probably be Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwell. But you never know, man. Tosin's got some very good skill sets, man. He's obviously tall, aerially he's strong, and with the ball, he's very, very good. So that is perfect for Enzo Maresca. Tosin, Chelsea is a huge club, and this is a full circle moment for me. I was born 3 miles away from Stamford Bridge and made my professional debut there. So I actually didn't know he made his professional debut at Chelsea. Interesting. There is pictures of him at Manchester City with Joe Shields and all of that back in those times. Obviously, he was at Fulham prior to this. But yeah, full circle back to Chelsea. Tosin asked to compare himself to previous players, John Terry, for example, his leadership, and Christensen, how well he can play on the ball. I like to take bits from their game into mine. Fantastic. Be a leader like John Terry, have the ball playing ability like Christensen. Why not? But do you know what? Mind you, John Terry was pretty good on the ball as well. Like John Terry was no mug on the ball. But yeah, if you can bring the leadership, not completely of the ilk of JT, but even a 50% of that, I think that'll go a long way for us. We need some form of leadership in the team, especially in defense. Now, some Julian Alvarez news, ladies and gentlemen. Things are somewhat heating up. Fabrizio Romano has entered the scene, and when he enters the scene, yeah, things could escalate quite quickly. Julian Alvarez situation, Manchester City want big money, and Alvarez would have to let them know he wants to leave face to face. This is the most important factor. Man City, they have a particular policy. If a player is not happy, they generally do part ways with the player. I know some people will say, well, what about Bernardo Silva? Yeah, there are certain cases where if they see that they can somehow convince the player to stick around, then they'll try their level best. Bernardo Silva is a very important player. Alvarez is an important player as well, but I feel like not as important as Bernardo Silva, because at the end of the day, Erling Haaland is their main striker. So look, if Alvarez puts in a transfer request, more than you can believe, Man City will part ways with Alvarez. Now the question is, where would Alvarez go? Now, Man City want big money. And if we are the only suitor, we may not want to give big money. You know what I mean? We'd want to negotiate. However, if there are other suitors like PSG and whatnot, and if they want to get into a bidding war, then I'm a bit worried that Man City might be looking at those clubs. So it all comes down to Alvarez. At Chelsea Football Club, we're probably not going to give him huge salary. He's, I think, on 100k. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but we could potentially give him up to 150k, maybe a tad bit more than that. But certainly, we're not going to be going anywhere near the 200k mark. That's just not our policy at the moment. But if PSG come in and PSG says that we're going to offer you a lot more money, it really comes down to Alvarez. Does he want a lot more money and go to a particular league that is not competitive, or does he go for a challenge that is a lot more competitive in the likes of Chelsea, where he could potentially become a superstar and be that main guy? And once again, at PSG, they've got quite a few players that they've got to get rid of in order to. I know they got rid of Mbappe, so there's going to be a lot of money that's going to be opened up in terms of wages. I get that, but they still have Gonçalo Ramos. They've got Kolo Muani. They'd have to open up some funds, open up some space for someone like Alvarez. And I feel like Osimhen is probably more primed towards going towards PSG. Let's see what happens. Chelsea have made it known they make a proposal for Julian Alvarez in the next few days. We've covered this yesterday. Looks like this is the words that's going around. The Chelsea feel there is maybe some form of, there's a bit of an inkling that there's a bit of an opening that perhaps Julian Alvarez's agent and Julian Alvarez's camp are open to hear what Chelsea have to offer, and if it's somewhat enticing, they'll present that to Manchester City. It all depends on how much we are going to provide. Look, for me, we have to be very careful with this, and don't go silly and just put in any sort of bid out there. I like Julian Alvarez a lot. I really do. I would love him at Chelsea Football Club. I think from a technical standpoint, From a finishing standpoint, I really like this particular player, right? And there's a lot of players that he can blend in with. But I don't want us to go stupid. You have to understand, Benjamin Sesko is out there for roughly around, what, 60 million pounds release clause, and he does bring us something different as well. I think Chelsea will weigh it up. They probably wouldn't want to pay anything more than 60 million for Julian Alvarez, and then with a bit of add-ons, maybe 65, max 70. Yeah, because you could potentially go for someone like Sesko for a lot cheaper, and I'm happy with any of those options. Obviously, my preference is Julian Alvarez, but this whole 80 million talk, I don't know if Chelsea's going to do that. It's just way too much money. It all comes down to whether Manchester City are happy to keep a player that potentially might want to put in a transfer request. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't want us to just give Manchester City whatever they want. I think there should be some level of negotiation. There is nothing concrete and no bid or direct contact from any Premier League clubs, but there could be movement soon. Let's see what happens. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano in regards to Julian Alvarez. So Fabrizio Romano is kind of giving the vibe that something could happen. Something could potentially happen. Chelsea and AC Milan are showing interest in Maatsen Bulka. This is the other big news, ladies and gentlemen. One of our ex-players that left Chelsea Football Club to go to, I believe, OJC Nice in French League. And he's done really well there, and we're looking to perhaps get him back. And a lot of people want this goalkeeper to come back. They feel like he has the ball-playing ability and he has the shot-stopping ability, and he's the perfect fit. But the goalkeeper situation is such a mess, man. With him in, there'll be 4 goalkeepers. We need to get rid of some of the goalkeepers that we have right now before we think about bringing someone like Bulka. Look, I've not watched enough of him. To be honest, I've not even watched any of him. But there's a lot of good, positive talks about Bulka, and a lot of the fans are quite impressed by him. So let me know your thoughts in regards to Bulka, because as I said, I don't know too much about him, but a lot of people really want this particular goalkeeper back at Chelsea Football Club. Dortmund are trying to bring Maatsen's release clause down from 35 million to around 30 million. Dortmund, look, don't penny change, mate. Pay the 35 million. That's a bargain in itself. If Ian Maatsen was a Dortmund player, they'll sell Maatsen for 50 million. Easy. 55, maybe even 60. I know you're trying to negotiate. I get that. But 35 million is a bargain. Like 35 million for a player like Ian Maatsen is a bargain. So this is why I'm like, just get to that 35 million, please. Don't fool around here. We should be selling Ian Maatsen for 45 million, if I'm being absolutely honest. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Maurizio Sarri leaving Chelsea has been my biggest mistake. There was a good basis to stay there and continue at the club. I did a big mistake at that moment. We won the Europa League. The project was great, but I wanted to return in Italy. Unfortunately, look, do you know what? I told you guys how recently he said this, and now he's reiterated this again. Maurizio Sarri, I wish he never left, man. Honestly. By the end of the season, when we won the Europa League, we were just starting to click. And I know the following season, it was a transfer ban and Hazard was going to leave and this, that, the other. But if Sarri stuck around for a couple of more seasons, even in that transfer ban scenario, I think we could have got a lot out of that team. And not taking anything away from Frank Lampard. We still came fourth, of course. But keeping Maurizio Sarri and those young players, learning from Sarri and the existing players that we had, continuing that whole process with Sarri, I think eventually enough we would have competed for the title. I really do. I really do. So look, even under Sarri, we probably would have made top 4, if I'm being absolutely honest. I know Frank has done a madness, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, Maurizio Sarri is the one that made the decision of leaving Chelsea Football Club, and now he regrets it. I would love one day Sarri coming back to Chelsea Football Club, but I don't think that is going to happen. Now, let's see if there's any other latest news that's popping off. It's not coming home, by the way. I'm so ecstatic that England lost against Iceland. I love it. I love it. To all the OGs of this channel, they know, yeah, if in an international level, I don't like England. My team is Germany. And loved it. Loved the fact that Iceland won. I felt sorry for Cole Palmer, obviously. I think he should have equalized nonetheless. But yeah, that is the latest, everyone. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts about everything we talked about. Nkunku, we talked about Julian Alvarez, a whole heap of other stuff as well. Please let me know in the comment section how you feel about that. And pray that I get better very, very soon. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Bye.